Hello, how do I choose a stock for my watch list? We are working on 2026 watch list and we have our 2025 watch list, but as we are getting close to 2026, it's the time for us together to start building a list of stocks that we like to swing trade from, and we want those stocks to be strong stocks that we can throughout the year we can just keep analyzing, and when one is well set for us to buy, it pulls back to the valley line, the valley of the mountain, and start going up from there. We can buy and climb the mountain together. So the first one we are going to analyze in this selection here is TRV. TRV, we are going to go to maximum monthly chart. For our stock watch list, I like to use maximum monthly chart so that I can see multiple years in front of us, and we can see the overall direction that the chart is going to judge this company stock, to see how this company has been performing over the years in general. So we can try to trace some support lines here passing by the valley, and the valley is pretty much the bottom of those hills, or I like to call them mountain, the bottom of those mountains, and they tend to be like the bottom of the letter V. So the obvious V is bottom that you can find. You just trace the line passing by those, going from the past to the present, on the x-axis, and going toward the price, which is on the y-axis from 0 up. So by tracing those, we have those two lines, and we can see that this TRV is quite climbing up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years it has been following this support line. We don't know if this line is going to become the new valley line, but we can see that it did about the same thing around this area. We have that growth there that lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years before it pulled back. So we don't know if this growth at some point will pull back to this support line or not. But when it touched base with this support line, another one originated from there. So at this point, we can select this to be a possible entry point for us at the same time as this one. So when it pull back to this and start going up from there, we might buy some, because it touched base with it 1, 2, 3, 4 years time frame here, 1, 2. So it could take about 2 more years before it might be done and come back to this. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems to be. So we know we have two possible value lines here that we can consider to buy at. And as we are looking at, so we can see this stock has higher lows. Now we can see the peak. We can see those inverse V, and we can see that it is making a higher peak of those mountains every few years. So therefore, and we can see that the highest peak all-time high, because we are using maximum monthly chart, this highlight price is all-time highest price. So it reached that peak in 2025. So therefore it is a yes for us. So the next one is ALL. So this is a good stock that is good to add to your watch list, because it has higher lows and higher highs. It is a growth stock. We can see our entry point, which will be at the valley line, and our exit point, which will be at the peak or around those areas. So ALL, we can try to trace some valley lines. We trace it from there. Let's see. It's going to go cross that one. I don't think I'm going to start it from there. We can start it from here. and it's going to be a little bit horizontal here. We can start it from there. This seems to be the line. We can start it from here. This is not too far from this one. I'm trying to touch base with it, but I could touch base with this one and it will go in. So it tends to breach the valley line a little bit, go a little bit below it before going up. But keep in mind, let's keep in mind that those lines are not just standing lines, they are more like a zone area. It's like an area, you know. So it will be okay to leave it like that. So our buy-in, we can select this one to be where we will buy it next if it makes it to our line, our watch list. Though now let's see here. So we have this peak here. It took quite a bit of time before it breached it though, but then it pulled back, and let's see, it took quite a bit of years before it breached this one as well. And from that point on, it took about 2 years, and then it climbed all the way there. Let's see, it took about 2 years or so to breach this one. It went up a little bit, and it took about a year to breach that one. It pulled back. It took about a year, and it has been up ever since. So I think we are going to, you know, we are having higher highs there. Not quite, it does not have a good pattern here, a repetitive pattern, but it's still going up, and we have this value line that we will keep to buy at, or this one. We just feel like this might be too low for it to come back to it, since it has not touched base with it since what, 2012 or so. So those two lines will be our possible buying point. We can make this green as well, and this will make it to our list as well, and we can just put OK. So the next one is MKL. So MKL is going forward. Let's see, so we have a clear valley line here. We have two. This one has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years as well. So we have those two that either one we'll try to buy at to see if this one will hold or if it will pull back. If we buy it here and it pull back to here, we'll just get stuck in it until, you know, it start going up. That way we know that, well, it's going to use this as the valley line. But as we are looking at the mountain top, yes, it's exceeding those top and going up, and in 2025 we have a new high there. So that is a good, is growing and is reaching a new high often. I like to see those new high in the current year or the previous year, but when it's far in the past, I like to see what is going on, you know. So that's good that it reached a new high this year. So it is going to make it to our at least preliminary watch list. So WRB is growing. Let's see, and we never traded before, not in 2024 or 2025. So let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years it has been growing, following this valley line. It has not come down to this. So we are going to select both, but before we do that, let's check the mountain top. So okay, it took about 2 years to a year and a half to breach it, and didn't touch base with the valley line here, and breach it again within a year. Continue pull back about a year, create another peak, and has been going up for the past 2 years. When it left here, it has not come back down yet, and that's the same thing here. 1, 2, 3 years It took 2 years. When it left this valley line going up, it pulled back wide here but didn't touch base with it. So it went up from the valley line for 2 years, pulled back within 6 months, and went up for a year to bridge this, and then has been going up pretty much 2 years as well. So it could well be repeating a pattern here, and therefore we could consider this to be our entry point. But having in mind that there is a possibility it might decide to come back to this line. So we are going to choose both. So you can see that at the same time we are selecting stocks for our watch list, we are automatically determining our entry point where we like to enter, and keeping an eye on where we want to exit to see if we have an exit in mind here, which will be a new high. So this will make it to the list as well. So we can just add go chart. And one more we are going to analyze is this one. And by the way, this has been around since 1980, at least that it went public. So let's do this one as well. So let's trace some lines here. Okay, this could be the line, but let's see the mountain. So it took few years before it breached here, climb, and then pull back a little bit and continue growing for 2 years or so, pull back a little bit. So pretty much when it touched base with this support line here, it took a pullback without breaching this mountain, and then went up, and it took quite a bit of years. It grew for quite a bit of years before it pulled back to it. Excuse me. And then from there, it took about a year and a half to surpass the previous peak, went up a little bit, pull back, and then continue. So when it touched the valley line and start going up from there, it can grow for some years, and then sharply it will pull back. And this year it reached a new high. So last year it reached a new high there as well. So it has been reaching a new high every year or so, to the exception of this one. It took all the way to from 2022 to 2024 to breach this one. But it seems to be growing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and then we'll pull back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it could continue going on for 2 more years or so before it will pull back. I will think, I'm not entirely sure, but if it's going to repeat this process here. Yes, we have the valley line. Yes, is reaching a higher peak. It's just a stocks that could be within short investment category, because you can buy at the valley line and keep it for 4 years, 5 years or so, and sell it and get out of it and wait 3 more years before you buy it again, type of thing. So this is going to be a yes, and I think we are going to put short-term investment, and we can add a note that a year growth, a year's growth after leaving valley, just to keep that in mind. So this conclude how we pick stocks for our watch list when we are using long uptrend and swing trading strategy, which consists of buying stock at the valley line, at the valley support line, when the stock pulls back to that support line and start going up, buy it and then wait to sell it at around the peak of the mountain or after the peak is reached. And all of those that we analyze maybe are qualified for our 2026 watch list. If the list is too long, we might have to downsize the list, but they are good. Some of them could be a short-term investment, of course, purchase using, you know, our swing trading strategy as well. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for your comments, and thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi, Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and ninasub.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. Just start small and grow your account from there. Thank you for your time. For more of tips on how you can create your own watch list, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. And this video is brought to you by our online store, liberlabel.com. We list a tote bag recently, and if you are in the market looking for a gift for a family member, a friend, or yourself, that is a great tote bag you can take a look at. Thank you so much for your time.